Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your libertarian car guy, and I'm doing my almost daily drive-by of the local regional trauma center just to keep track of how many bodies are piling up. We keep hearing about bodies stacking up everywhere at hospitals, being overwhelmed. So I'm looking for signs of the hospital being overwhelmed. Maybe you see some signs of the hospital being overwhelmed. Here's one of the entrances. And the parking lot's pretty much empty. Lots of parking spots in front. I'm not seeing signs of the hospital being overwhelmed. I'm about to head over to the front entrance to the major regional trauma center, which I've shown you before, that serves Southwest Virginia, serves parts of North Carolina as well. And here we go. So here's the entrance to the trauma center. And I'm just wondering whether you see bodies stacking up everywhere. I don't. In fact, it's ghostly here. There's almost nothing going on. I certainly don't see any refrigeration trucks full of bodies at all. See a few nurses milling about outside, and that's it. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just my area, but I've had videos taken from or sent to me from people all over the country, and there's no sign of bodies stacking up anywhere except in these hystericized news reports about it, which I'm very suspicious of, with good reason. There have been cases of outright deception and fraud being perpetrated, including, for example, I think it was a CBS News report that purported to show scenes of hospitals being overwhelmed and bodies and all of that, when in fact the images were taken from Italy. And I think there's another such having to do with some woman, I wish I could remember, who is some kind of reenactor for crisis scenarios, you know, like what if scenarios, like how would you deal with a hypothetical pandemic, and presenting that as if it were an actual pandemic. Anyway, there's just no sign that I can see, no objective factual sign that I can see of the Black Death, and yet the country is on lockdown premised on this idea of the Black Death. I think the latest statistic is something like 5,000 people or so have died so far in this country, a country of 330 million. And even if it were 10,000, that would not be a tremendous number, given how many people end up dying as a result of catching the flu and then getting pneumonia, and pneumonia develops into something else. And most of those people who die because of that are older people, people who have compromised immune systems, and that, again, seems to be the case with this corona crud. So I don't know. You tell me. I think at some point, if the bodies don't start stacking up, questions need to be asked about the extreme sanctions being imposed on the American people in the name of what exactly? Anyway, I'll have this up on site shortly. Thanks as always for viewing, and we'll catch up with you again soon.